Hi, beautiful souls. Welcome to the tarot reading for where we are in the world and what's unfolding in front of us into the month of September. So the energies have been shifting, the energies have been expanding. And for me, and if you're watching this and resonate, it's been expanding for you too. So when you incorporate a new energy, you immediately feel the contrast between the old state of being and the new. And it's very discernible. You feel expansive, you feel very maybe high, very uplifted, and you feel another level of knowingness within you, and a sureness and a certainty and an openness when you incorporate a new frequency. Now, in order for us to incorporate that, we have to have moved forward in our own internal healing process. And as we know, as I talk about, yes, there's a lot going on out in the world. But for me, primarily, it's to look at your own state of being within your own system. How do you feel day to day? What are you looking at? What appears in your life day to day? Because it's sort of showing you, as I always say, your own internal state. What's on your energy signature that needs to be addressed or is healing and changing? So it's to look at all the things that come to us, whether that's on a news feed or in our daily life, and look at it from that higher perspective of what is this really saying about me and this hologram that I'm walking through. Ijiken dukurietsa sekuka ati shemzea kuye nakamakike se etu senne tushana. Imbekike zutayanaki holeleli kumba ati sendea kuye setsa u ete anya kaka. So I believe our way out of here, or our way to graduate from this place we're in, is to step into our power, step into the truth of who we really are, to understand the program, to understand the autopilot, to understand the conditioning that has ruled our existence in this place of being, in this realm. Eju kataria shekuka, ombu ati andaria shesike, andaya shutsanya. Hindia sukaya tsuku, ushindia kaka, ambaria chetsa, inde kiaka. So this energy that's coming is coming internally and externally. There are external forces or influences that are coming into this realm, and that is in a way a mirror for the shift within us. That would not have been able to come in and assist us or help us or supplement our journey unless we were rising to the occasion to meet it. So the more we take responsibility and look at our own stuff and find love and compassion for ourselves and what this journey has been about and how tough and hard it has been, and love ourselves no matter what, our frequency rises. We begin healing all of these dense energies, these dense emotions, and then we are in a position to allow more of this energy to flow to us and for us to rise and meet it. So what we've been doing, as I've explained before, is we are in essence, metaphorically, rowing across a pond. And this is what this life is. And every life is rowing across a pond, metaphorically. So here we are in our little boat and we're rowing. And there are people in the pond with us. And from lifetime to lifetime, they may change and scenarios change and situations change. But they're there because they're a reflection of what we are emitting. What is the signature that we are existing in day by day? So sometimes people in other boats who are also rowing across this consciousness that is represented by the water in the pond, and they are lobbing rocks at us. And other people will log rocks at us. Some of them hit us in that boat and we get rocked around, or some of them land in the water close to us and that also rocks us around. So this is, in essence, your unfinished business. The people that are on the pond throwing missiles at you, or the situations that are making your traversing across this pond rocky and unstable, there's situations that in a way could be called what it is you haven't resolved. So these people are there reflecting you. Now, sometimes we hit debris in this pond. There'll be logs and branches, whatever, in the pond, and we get stuck in it as we're trying to move forward. Or again, it slows down our progress until we clear it away. So we've been on this pond, metaphorically, for quite a few lifetimes, moving across this surface. Now, there are things that are too big, that have been too tough to handle, that we have diligently ignored or put on the back burner or walked away from. And this is what I call the sediment at the bottom of the pond. So as we begin to clear up our surface, as we begin to catch the rocks as they're lobbed at us and just drop them over the side without retaliation, it allows more of this energy to come through and stir up that sediment, that old energy. And this is why it can feel so tough. So when we have, as I said, when we have this breakthrough and we've cleared some of the sediment and we've cleared and let go of some of the rocks that are in the boat that people have given us that we no longer want, we just drop them over the side and wish them well and send them on their way. So as this energy comes in and we begin to rise to the occasion, and what has been happening for me is that shift between the old perception, the old, say, grief, the old anger, or the old depression, the old, whatever the issues have been for me, the change and shift into the new energy has been almost instantaneous. It's like stepping and reaching for that new energy has become easier and easier. Now, it's a combination of the energy coming in as being higher, but it is also the energy coming out of us is higher because we've been processing and healing the deeper energies of this realm. Oretike endushteakuyetsa ambakaya chutsa ana. So yes, when you make this first change, when you make this shift, and you suddenly, miraculously, it seems, are able to let it go and shine in love, or shine in gratitude, or shine in power, and you really feel it, there's a big contrast between how you were and how you now feel. And it is incredibly powerful, this observation. Now, what happens is you will maybe lose that level of contrast, and you no longer feel so elated because of the change that you've made between the old energy and the new energy. But the reason you can see it so clearly and so powerfully at the beginning of this shift is because of the contrast and the difference between the past and the now. So when you've incorporated that energy, you are no longer separate to it. So it's not as easy to put your finger on. It's not as easy to perceive because you are it. So if you feel that you have had this amazing breakthrough and then nothing, it's all, you've just moved up to another plateau and nothing is happening, it may feel like you've fallen back to some degree, but the truth is you haven't. The reason you can't put your finger on it is because you now are embodying that new frequency 100%, and there is no contrast yet for the next level. So just be with where you are. Don't doubt that you are holding that new frequency or embodying that new frequency. You are embodying it. And because you are embodying it and you are it 100%, it's not as obvious in that contrast. That's what makes it obvious. And it is something that is this moving up layer by layer, level by level, harmonic by harmonic. Indukriya betike, shundakaya se eti ambakaya chutsanye zakaya. Indakriya shteshtuyenama ambe tukuriena. Indakia sebebi te indukriyo chutsonyo. So I've laid out the cards, the Rider-Waite and the Unicorn cards. And they're beautiful again, because the internal state is shining, is growing, is evolving from what I feel within me and have noticed around the people that I interact with. Amboreshise kindaya chetsaka, ambariacheke inde sukoyo chunda kamayatsa, inda kriyasesike. And for me personally, in the last 3 or so months, I've seen in a funny way more change, more growth, more breakthroughs in the last 3 months than I've had in probably the last 10 to 15 years. So I can feel the quickening. I can feel, for me, the ability to totally leap, shift timelines, a timeline, keep aligning myself with higher and higher timelines by simply choosing, by simply knowing, by simply declaring, by simply observing the current state and choosing the new. So all of the work that I've done with Inner Child is about getting you to be able to identify the past, identify the energies that you are walking around in, that we've all been walking around in, mostly unconsciously, because the world is distracting us from really investigating what's been going on with regard to our autopilot, our conditioning. So again, this is the importance of disconnecting, finding a balance between what pulls you out there and the internal, and that this must take precedence in the coming weeks and months and years. Kosheshiasa, indikamakia seku etusa anyakaya sukoyo, areti shanyaka. And in a way, the word is that this out here is to a great degree irrelevant and is a distraction. You can't believe what you read in the news. You cannot believe what you see on the television as being the truth. And if what comes to you triggers you, process it from the point of the observer. As I've said, it's the way that you let go of your conditioning is to observe what triggers you and then look it in the eye, understand it, feel it and breathe it and let it go. So the cards, let's have a look at the tarot reading. So victory, victory, victory. Ije tukande stukaya, inge kibitise na kaya sebuto, andriasha. And I feel this is a victory of the heart. Heart centering, heart connection, heart balance between the head and the heart. Ijukandeya sike, andeya shushe sikama, hambitikush takariane kika. The second card is the balance card, the joy card. So the first week of September, what we're in, what we're continuing to move through is a level of internal victory, ezukiaba, and finding balance and finding joy. And the more you can be internal based and allow your internal feelings and emotions and states of being to take precedence, the world will ultimately begin to reflect that to you. And the world as it unfolds will reflect this. And it will unfold very differently for each person according to what they have going on inside of them. Ejukaretsian dakaya sebu utushtanya. Ambakia tse tukaria se sanya. Handaria shekike. Areti huyetsakanya amba akike unietaka. So the next two cards are where in this new expanded state, in this place of power of really being able to choose how you feel, how you react, whether you react moment by moment to what's happening in your life and within you and within this world, you begin to look at the world as what I call the programmer, as the creative being that's having an impact on the matrix that's unfolding around us. Ejukiasa. And really, we get to choose. We may not see that choice, say, on an entire world stage, but our own lives would definitely reflect this. So what is it you want to step into? What is it you would like to experience? And as being the creator, you will be able to start to choose, step into the power of creating what it is you want. And you will be able to do this very successfully. Now, it can start in small ways. I'm trying to think of an example. Okay, let me give you a small way. Say in the newspaper, here in Australia, they're always talking about how expensive rentals are, or how there is such a short supply. Or here in Australia, they're always talking about, oh my gosh, escalating power bills just through the roof. So what do you do when you read these things? People normally get caught up and head in a downward spiral of, oh my God, that's terrible. What are people going to do? How are people going to keep warm or cool in winter or summer? And we get caught up in the emotions that those things are deliberately designed to do, catch us up in these emotions. So when you catch yourself and you say, no, I am going to see a different world. I am going to feel differently than these beings want me to feel that are putting out these stories in the paper or on the TV. And I step into power, and I step into love, I step into knowingness, and emit in a way a beam of confidence, however you want to see it. So what will happen is, despite what everything and everybody is telling you, you will find that really reasonable rental property, or your electricity bill will be amazingly small, that you cannot believe it. Now, these are small ways that reflect a shift in your perspective. It can get bigger and bigger and bigger as much as you like, but acknowledge these small mirroring moments of a shift in you. You can either go for a ride on this downward spiral, like a lot of people do, or you can choose to walk into a different reality, to experience something that is filled with hope and joy and peace and confidence. And this is the point of embodying these feelings, even if you don't know how to get a rental that is cheaper, or if you don't know how to minimize your energy bills, but you just hand it over to something deeper within you. And when you take that stand and stand within yourself, within your power, within your trust within of yourself and your greater being, the world will begin to reflect that. So this is the second part. Keep thinking of the world that you want. Keep defying the newspapers, defying the television, whatever it is, Facebook's newsfeed, whatever it is that catches your eye and wants to pull you down. Step into your power and say no. And you will become very successful. This is accomplishment in choosing the path you wish to walk. So the next two cards are the Queen of Wands and the Knight of Pentacles. So this is about walking what you say. So when somebody comes to you and wants to talk about how terrible this situation is with Trump, or how awful it is that they are targeting this or that's happened, you have to step into your own way of being and not engage. You have to, in a way, walk away or diffuse or be, don't add your energy to that situation. Be impartial, be neutral to that situation, and keep a stance of being grounded within yourself. So that how you walk through the world is solely determined by your own inner choice. Now, this can take a little bit of time. It definitely takes practice. And this is one step at a time in doing this. Because part of the reason we don't do this, part of the reason we agree with somebody's conversation or stance or viewpoint of what's happening in the world is we want to be liked. We want to be a part of the tribe. We want to be accepted. And to walk your own talk can be scary at times, particularly if you're the only one in your family and you don't jump on the bandwagon and get into the drama of the external world. So keep one step going in front of the other. Don't beat yourself up if you have to just go along with it for a while until you find that space. You will find it. And wherever you are is okay. And wherever anyone else is okay. This is the whole point of how we move through this, how we graduate from this place. It is to allow everybody their own journey and to understand that where they are is where they need to be. And they're experiencing the greatest thing that they need to experience at this moment to help them in their journey. Amboriashtekika, inzaktariashesike, uzeti ambakaye sushanyakaka, imbeti sekukarianaki, indulchatse bitikena, ambakaya chatsa, ureti hanyekuka, ambariashesike, undeyashushianyaka. So the next card is the Four of Pentacles. So balance in the head and the heart with 2 feet on the ground. So again, it is about balance at this point. It's about, as has been said in other places, neutrality, being able to embrace all aspects of this spectrum. So it's to not ignore the world, it's to observe it and understand and look at it as almost like taking the temperature of the world. It's like taking a measure or a record of where people are. And it's not so much In a way, it is talking about you. But when you come across these things, and if you're coming across them over and over again, you can sort of take a big picture perspective and go, oh, that's what we're dealing with as a whole, as a collective at the moment. And when you start seeing people speaking a truth about something that is different than what the mainstream sees or says, then you can see that there is more and more people waking up to a different reality, a different truth. Ejukariatsa. So it's balancing your heart and inner journey with the external journey, and not being putting your head in the sand, as they say, but it's also not letting out there determine what's going on inside of you in your emotional state. So the next card is the Justice card. And I would say that this is the decision has already been made. So this is, in some respects, a movie. In some respects, this is a symphony of many notes and many musical instruments. And all of us are making up that symphony. And it has been made up in a way a long time ago. And it is playing out. Because as time is not linear, but is actually singular, then everything is happening now. And we are already existing in a now where all of this is done, where all of this is healed. All of this is resolved. Ijukatia stondekika, amboreashisesa, aki andeashushe, sekike andeashesasa, imbikike sutariashesa. So it's already been seen. Ujetsika, ukariatse kikenye, ambriatseku, azeti, endakriasesa, unjeki arete. So I just pulled out another card to further clarify this. So this is the rebirth card. This is, what is it? Revelations, when the dead are made to rise again at the sounding of the last trumpet. So this is about seeing the world with new eyes. This is going from a dark place and out into the light, and seeing brighter colors, brighter realities, seeing the new world. So this, to me, supports this, that it is on target. We are on a path that has been seen and has already, in some respects, unfolded. And we can participate in this unfolding by taking responsibility and for our own emotions, our own state, and stepping into higher frequencies and holding space without judgment for the other souls around us that may not see what we see. And again, no right or wrong. Everybody is where they need to be, learning what they need to learn as we move through this experience. So the two unicorn cards that I pulled are, first one is to just be yourself. This, if I could just tell you the profoundness of this simple message. What we have been taught to do is to compare ourselves. What we have been taught to do and had it entwined with survival is to fit in and to be how we think we should be. So when you are yourself, when you love yourself, when you allow yourself, when you ride the wave of an emotion and understand it as a deeper healing, and then let it go and move forward, it's being yourself in all aspects of who you are in this realm. It's embracing all aspects of who you are and have been or who you think you should be. It's okay to be you. And the more you come into peace with who you are and believe in yourself and to just be who you are, you show that energy-wise. You show that to the people around you without words. Energetically, they will understand it and find peace with who they are, with no longer comparing themselves, with no longer looking at other, but understanding there's a connection at the core of who we are with all beings in this realm. Izukayatsekika ambariata kuyetse. So what you're doing when you are just being yourself is to share. You are sharing those codes to your family. You are sharing those codes and understandings and wisdoms and energies and frequencies to the people that you come across in your day. So it's never, as I've said, about the person or about the thing outside of you. Primarily, it's about you. And as you love and care for you and allow you 100% through the thick and thin, through the highs and the lows, with love and compassion, you will share those codes. You will share that knowledge to all the people that you come across in your day. Ambukria seti, handaria shesa, uke iten nakaya. So for me, we're doing really well. Ubaria sekika, anjet sekika, umbariatsa. So I have talked about the fact that we live in a polarity. So we go along on this sine wave of highs and lows. But from my understanding, what we're doing is this now. And yes, we will have some lows. But this low is actually higher than a high that we had down here. So don't ever see yourself as falling back or not achieving. You are. Ujendakaya, indariashe susamo koyotso kunyetsa kabatise, indakriashe shushianakamaya, indakriase ba ote si kanyotsa kabite, andariashe kaya, oretika, areti, anyekiku, azutushtanyatsa kababatia, andariashesa, hineoku, hineoka, abariashe sinye, azeki, asiatusha, Ande kuya nakia, azia bukui inde kokanya. So, all my love to you, beautiful souls. Well done. Well done me and well done you. Inde siaku, hande ashtesi akaya chutsanyetsaka, areti shenyoka. And the phrase that comes to mind is, we are extremely proud of you. Utagriashtende indakriatsabaku ute shi andeasiatu hariti shanyaka idatayashtunyeke uzeata. Much love and see you again soon. Bye-bye.